Of the 400 people that left, the majority of them, I'd say at least half, are all extremely depressed. I don't know if I can say extremely, but I definitely know that they are depressed. As far as I've heard from so many people that I've talked to personally, as well as people that I've spoken to that are employed by other organizations that are around like the games right now, a lot of people have come up and expressed that they are really not doing okay.
Seeing content creators in controversy isn't something new. Usually they'll get criticized by the public, sometimes hated, but eventually the fire is extinguished. But for MrBeast, things keep getting worse, and all of this is happening because he might have protected an alleged pedophile and groomer.
Chris is the tip of the iceberg. And when Jake the Viking says MrBeast knew, yeah, MrBeast knew.
Honestly, don't be surprised if his next video is 100 days to become a hitman. And by the way, MrBeast, you did say that you had hired independent investigators, and are we ever gonna be updated? I do know those things can take some time, but honestly, I feel like we would be lucky if our grandkids were the ones to know the results of the investigation. But now MrBeast is getting sued by multiple contestants for failing to pay minimum wages and overtime, failed to prevent harassment, and participants when provided uninterrupted meal breaks and rest breaks. And actually, that's not the first time we hear about that, because when the whole Chris situation was happening, there were some contestants that started to be more vocal about what happened during that game. And before I tell you what I think about it, I'll show you a video of someone who was in touch with certain contestants. And because it's a long video, I'll only show the part with the testimony in it.
I was expecting for this competition to be hard, but I did not expect to endure what I did. It was a show, to say the least. I believe that they were in over their heads and did not plan very well. Here are some of the things I experienced. There was no clear communication between the contestants and production. I think this was because production knew just about as much as we knew. Contestants were being told numerous different things, and it was very confusing and frustrating. No one was using a microphone to make announcements, so it was really hard to hear what production was saying. A lot of things got missed. I had to hear through the grapevine about certain things, like when they had Gatorade, when we could go to medical, when they had snack bags on the last day, when we could get our undergarments, etc. They handed out undergarment bags to everyone alphabetically by last name. I did not receive my undergarments until the second day of filming. These should have been handed out to everyone day one. People were using their undergarment bags as pillows when they slept on the stadium floor. After the first competition, they hadn't fed us in a while, and I was feeling lightheaded. I asked someone if they had anything to eat because I was feeling lightheaded, and they told me to push through and basically suck it up. On the first day, after 12 hours of having contacts in my eyes, I asked someone if I could go to medical and take them out, and they told me no. I witnessed 2 people that had seizures, and it took medical several minutes for them to get there. I'm assuming this happened because they did not have access to medication, but I could be completely wrong. Medics should have been there on the field 24/7, ready to go at all times. I was told by production they were working up to 20-hour days. As all of us were, we were all sleep and food deprived.
I know the prize money in that game is huge because you want it to be the biggest ever. It's understandable that you try and make it difficult, but are you serious, man? Is it a game, or are they in the gulags at this point? MrBeast really went from organizing a friendly Squid Game that would help the community to signing those people to the Hunger Games without even them knowing about it. You know, I get he's trying to organize a massive game, and sometimes things don't go according to the plan, but I'm sorry, the basic things like communication, food, health, security, those things he's supposed to make sure that they're all guaranteed at any moment. I mean, just like this guy said, I remember when MrBeast bought houses for homeless people and gave away loads of money for good causes. Those people didn't have to do all that. They didn't have to be food deprived. They didn't have to be sleep deprived. They didn't have to wait minutes while having a seizure. All they had to do is be there at the right time, right moment. But me, I gotta be the guinea pig that's thrown into the circus.
The timing between feeding us was not consistent. In the first meal they gave us, around 6-7 p.m., I had no protein.
Bro had them on that Ramadan regime. He said the more hungry you're, the more dedicated you'll be during the game.
All I had was a little container of oatmeal and a little container of vegetables and a little container of fruit. We didn't eat again until the early morning. We were supposed to have flights booked for us to go home. I woke up the next day after I got back from the competition with no flight information. With so many contestants trying to go home, I heard that they would not have all the flights booked until a few days later. I had to book my own flight home, use my own money out of pocket to leave because I couldn't wait that long because I had to return to work. They are going to reimburse us, but there is no telling when I will see that money.
This is beyond the lack of professionalism because, like I said, when you do something that huge, some unexpected things can happen, but this is just way too much. If this is true, if those allegations are true, this man is one heck of a bastard for endangering that many people, because it's not like he didn't have the funds. He has Amazon behind him, he has sponsors, it's MrBeast, and this is not the first game he organizes. He knows what needs to be taken care of, and if this project is too massive for himself or his team, then just hire a third party. Yes, you're MrBeast, the YouTuber with the most subscribers on this planet, but that's pretty much it. You do not own those people.
Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories.
And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium,
which is also significantly over the USDA standards. So they'd be either under eating calories or overeating sodium. Finally, the grain guidelines state that 80% of lunch meals must be whole grain, and Lunchly Turkey does not list any whole grain ingredients. It's clear Lunchly, just like Lunchables, misses the mark too many times to be considered meaningfully healthier, at least in my opinion.
And when you thought Jimmy would lay low because right now he's under a massive storm, he comes back to sprinkle that storm with another drama, because this man is collecting controversies like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones. Because right now he's getting criticized for selling an apparently unhealthy product to kids. For those who don't know, MrBeast, Logan Paul, and KSI partnered to launch a new brand of Lunchables made for kids. And the problem is that those Lunchables, just like apparently the drink Prime, is pretty unhealthy. And because of that, some YouTubers like Dan DM decide to express their disappointment in them. Well, actually MrBeast in particular, because we all know what kind of man Logan Paul is. What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them do better. And before I share with you the choice different responses, I'll have to share with you my opinion, because it is also my channel. I'm also here to criticize, expose, mock those frauds, talk about the problem on the internet. So that's why if you like that type of content, don't hesitate to sub. Plus guys, if you subscribe, you'll be selected to participate in my huge game where you might win $100 million. Not everyone will win the money, but at least you won't be hungry. Personally, I agree with those comments. And before some people come and say,
oh, you're just a bandwagon, you're taking the easy way out.
It's not about that, it's just about morality. When a business is selling a product to you, that business does not have the trust factor to make you buy this product. That's why they rely on advertisement. You don't know who's behind that business. You don't know who represents that business. The only thing you know is the image they use on the front scene. It's like if McDonald's said they were going to release the healthiest meal on this planet, would you fall for it? Yeah, you might buy their products, but you don't necessarily trust them. Whereas with content creators, it's way different, because content creators have this little proximity with you. Even though we're behind screen, the fact that we're talking in front of the camera, whether you show your face or not, it still creates a proximity with the viewers. The more you watch the content, the closer you'll feel to that content creator, which means a relationship based on trust is born from that. That's why when you buy a content creator's merch, product, whatever, you won't be as suspicious as if it came from a big company. Subconsciously or consciously, you have the impression that a bond has been created, which means that you're more inclined to buy that person's product based on an emotional decision and not a rational one. And that's why people criticize those guys, because first of all, their audience is already pretty young, which means that most likely 90% of them won't even check what they are buying. They'll just buy because it's Logan Paul, KSI, and MrBeast advertising the product, because it's their product, so they'll blindly trust you. I mean, some adults don't even know what they are eating on a daily basis, but you expect kids to know, check, and make the right decision. And they know that too, But because it's all about the moolah, they don't give a fuck. I mean, take Prime for an example. It's been proven that Prime is unhealthy on the long term, but they don't say that. They always deny it, and kids don't necessarily know that too. If they actually had values or moral sense, they would either warn the customers or just change the product completely. This is why I agree with them, because yes, some YouTubers sell some BS. They sell some crappy products, some shitty mugs, horrible t-shirts, whatever. I'm not here to tell someone what that person has to do with their money. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is don't sell some unhealthy BS to kids because you know they are an easy target for you to make money off. But I've been talking for too long, so now it's time to see what those guys had to say.
This is what he had to say. What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. Do better! Do better! And actually, let's take a step back and look at the whole fucking situation. These motherfuckers are complaining!
You know, I hate when people use that effect to mock someone's take when they are 100% wrong. I mean, wait, KSI, you are in your 30s and you are acting like a 20, not even 20. You're acting like an 18-year-old man. You should be having kids, a wife, you know, be a responsible adult. Not beefing online with someone who called you out for being a greedy motherfucker.
About a lunch kit. That's what this whole thing is about. A lunch kit. There's way more crazier things happening in this world, but people want to go in on this lunch fucking kit. What are we doing? What are we doing?
You need further time in your life. Now it's time to see what our favorite boy from Ohio has to say. I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent our lives creating content and building our brands. Now we want to build businesses. You don't say anything when Lunchable faces bans for allegedly containing lead, but when we create a better version, you're upset? Then don't eat it. They're not gonna eat it, man. That's not what they're saying. All they're saying is that you are a piece of shit for trying to market an unhealthy product as a healthy one to your naive audience. But because you have such a hard time with accountability, you can't really understand what they're trying to say, and instead of reflecting on yourself and trying to do things in a better way, or you know, admit that what you're selling is bad and change it, you want to antagonize everything and act as a victim like always. I had to bring all things back on the table, but let's not forget what this man did 6 years ago. Like I said, I hate to bring back all things, but the thing he did proved to you that this man would do anything if it means getting that moolah. And now it's time to hear what the man under the lights for the wrong reasons has to say. Lunchable sells hundreds of millions of units and countless people eat it. Our goal is to give people a better for you alternative to it. Our turkey meal, for example, is 80 less calories, 60 less percent sugar, more electrolytes. We use real cheese, they use cheese products. They can't call it cheese, higher quality meat, etc. Obviously, eating fresh chicken and broccoli is healthier, but if someone is going to eat a pre-made meal like this, which millions of people do through Lunchables, then I think giving them a higher quality version at roughly the same price is a net good in my opinion. And while we launch Lunchly, also, as we get economies of scale and can get things cheaper, we'll be only improving the product more and more. Basically, what he's trying to say is that, yeah, my product may be bad, but you know, compared to the competition that's been doing that for years, it's not as bad, so it's all cool. Bro, we are not stupid. We see that your product isn't as healthy as you claim it to be. So instead of fighting an already lost war, why don't you address the other allegations? Like, I don't know, maybe, you know, Chris, while you're getting sued for your game, no, those kind of allegations, why don't you address them? But I'm alive. It's not really bad, Jimmy. Kids need more than 230 calories for lunch. Your product is processed garbage with no nutritional value. Now address the allegation of running illegal lotteries, selling fake signatures, fake videos, endangering contestants, and hiring and protecting as predators. Out of all the thousands of languages that exist on this planet, this man chose to speak facts. Why not teach kids healthy eating habits? They're comparing their products to Lunchables, which in itself is highly processed crap. None of them are passionate about health towards fans. Only their wallets. So disappointing. And MrBeast, how come we haven't heard any finding from the investigations with your P-file friend Chris Heisend? And I would be happy to... Listen, that's what I said. People are not stupid. If you want to go all the way with it, that's your problem. No one's gonna stop you. Just stop acting like the superheroes that are gonna save the kids' lunch. You are just as bad as those corporations, or maybe even worse, because you are utilizing the bun that's been installed in the worst way possible. But that'll be all for today's video, guys. Honestly, it keeps getting worse for MrBeast, and at that moment in your career, dropping that collab with those two frauds, with one alleged scammer and the other, I don't even know how to call him, wasn't the best idea. Personally, that's what I think. But hey, obviously they are fucking loaded. I don't think it'll be a big issue. But if he continues to stock all those controversies and hate, people will drop him. That's just how it works in the industry. If you like the video, guys, don't hesitate to share with a friend, like, comment, let me know what you think. Do you actually think that at some point MrBeast's career will collapse? Because right now it feels like it, but he's so massive that it might not happen, but you just never know, honestly. And don't hesitate to sub. Plus, like I said, the game is soon, so if you want to be selected, you know what you gotta do. We are witnessing the biggest domino effect in internet's history.